Cows are far from the only animals on the farm. In fact, they've become part of a complex ecosystem, helping to support life in unexpected corners. And helping that biodiversity to thrive is one of Jersey Dairy's 3 big commitments to a sustainable future. The dairy's been working with local conservation ecologist Piers Songong to map what species live on the farms. Each farm has its own tailor-made strategy to protect its wildlife. And there's major benefits for the farm too.
They provide an ecological service to the island as a whole, but also to the agricultural industry. So at the moment, we're standing in a field and there's barn swallows flying around all over the place. They're at the moment serving as a pest controller to help deal with all the invertebrates.
Earlier this year, 10 farms took part in the Big Bird Count, which recorded nearly 1,500 birds of 44 different species in just half an hour.
This is not one farmer doing something there, another one there. This is all of us in a collective way gathering really valuable information. It's very invigorating.
Over 20% of the island's farmland is made up of hedgerows, and work's now underway to restore them as a habitat for wildlife.
They are the bit that is good for biodiversity. If you leave a hedgerow because you don't want to touch biodiversity, it actually goes into a poorer and poorer state as the years go on, and it can't support as much. So it's very important actually to have this rejuvenation life cycle. And
the cows have their part to play too. Earlier this year, the herd at Trinity Manor Farm were drafted in to manage the wet meadows at the special interest site Le Petit Pré. Grazing the cows helps to maintain over 100 plant species by keeping aggressive plants like bracken, bramble and scrub at bay.
Part of these enhancement plans that we're doing is not just looking at the pasture grasslands where we've got the cows grazing for milking purposes, but we're looking at the other habitats alongside, those small wet meadows, the bits of woodland where the animals can actually be let in there for a short period of time to actually replicate the historic behaviour of their ancestors to actually benefit biodiversity.
As night falls on the farm, different species emerge, including some of the very smallest. Glowworms are in decline across the UK, but here in Jersey, with minimal light pollution, they're able to thrive. As can bats. Jersey's home to 18 species of bat, including several rare species. Piers is working with the farmers on regular bat counts, using a detector to identify and monitor the different species.
Well, bats make up 20% of all the mammals in the world, but here in Jersey, it's more like 50% of all land mammals, which gives you an indication of just how significant they are.
Okay, so we've currently got a common pipistrelle just commuting over the top of us.
These unimposing residents are helping to shed light on the overall health of the farm.
So as an apex predator, they're a good indicator of the health of below. They also provide a very important ecosystem service. So like the small pipistrelles flying around, they can eat up to 3,000 small insects in one night. You consider that we may have 50 of those flying around over the top of us. Calculate it up, you realise how much they are taking out each night that could otherwise be a pest to us.
I don't think it's a new thing that farmers are custodians of the environment. Actually, responsible farmers have always cared for the land. It's perhaps that we're doing it more in a public sort of public space at the moment.
The counts wrapped up for one night, but the challenge of monitoring and nurturing biodiversity is set to continue, part of the fabric of running the farm. Holly Goodall, ITV News.